Section 9 of the Book of Baby Birds. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Trinidad Flores. The Book of Baby Birds by Florence Dugdale. The Rhea. I am not the fabulous earth mother that you might think me from my name, but only a strange large bird who came out of an egg like any other. Despite a title so arresting, I am as weak while I am small as some of those that you would call poor little things if noticed nesting. Alas, and there will be no flying, even when we grow from my queer breed, but we can run with marvelous speed, and that's a gift there's no denying. On those broad rolling treeless plains that are known as the pampas of South America may be found as quaint a baby bird as could be imagined. He is rather like a young goose, only he has such long, awkward-looking legs. His name, too, does not suit him very well, for he is called the Rhea. The true meaning of this name is the mother of the gods, but our quaint little bird is nothing more than a member of that long-legged, long-necked race of birds known as the ostrich family. In South Africa he has cousins who are noted for their beautiful white tail plumes. Master Rhea will never have such plumes as these, no matter how big he grows. But he never does grow as big as the African ostrich either. He may console himself, however, with the thought that he has feathers on his neck and 3 toes, while all other ostriches have bare necks and 2 toes. And now comes the strangest part of this bird's history. He has never known what it is to have a fond mother to care for him. She just lays the egg and then walks off as if she had nothing more to do with it. The young Rhea would be in a sad plight indeed if it were not that he had one of the best of fathers. Mr. Rhea takes upon himself the whole business of hatching the eggs. Such large ones they are, too, cream-colored with a thick shell deeply pitted all over. He gathers the eggs together, raking them in with his wing until he has about 20 or even more in a shallow hole which he has scraped in the ground. These eggs, however, are all laid by different hens. The father sits on them until they are hatched, and then he trains the young ones to catch grasshoppers and other insects. There are some white Rheas, but the general color is a grayish buff, which is hard to distinguish among the dry, parched grasses of the pampas. Sometimes these poor creatures are hunted by dogs and men on horseback. If a breeze is blowing, the Rhea will raise one wing, which acts as a sail, and then he goes along at such a speed that no dog or horse can catch up with him until he is tired. He never flies, he can only run. The Rhea is hunted for the sake of his plumage, and it is said that as many as 400,000 have been killed in 1 year. If nothing is done to stop this destruction, it is supposed that before very long there will not be a single Rhea left in that country. The cockbird, when he is looking after a brood of young, is very warlike. Once an old Rhea had the courage to attack the engine of a train. He rushed up and kicked with all his might, but the train passed on, and there was a sudden end to the brave but quarrelsome father. The young birds have a curious habit of waltzing. Some dozen or more of them will run about 100 yards, then stop, and raising their wings, spin around rapidly, often until they are quite giddy. 2 young Rheas were hatched in the Zoological Gardens, London, some time ago. Although the father refused to care for them after they left the shell, they were lucky in finding a kind friend in a lady who took charge of them and kept them warm in the breast of a woolen jersey that she wore. Their cry was a plaintive whistle, and they came readily when they were called. Their kind protectress caught flies for their food, and they would eat as many as 50 at a time. When a fly was held out on the open palm of a hand, they would come tearing along, looking something like 2 torpedoes, their necks outstretched in a line with their bodies, and they would snap the fly off the hand with the greatest skill. Sad to say, this interesting pair did not live very long. Discovering that tender green grass was pleasant to the taste, they made a hearty meal of this delightful new food. The grass formed a hard ball inside each fluffy little body, and before long Master and Miss Rhea were cold and stiff and dead. End of section 9.